They are. Those former members claim that when Trump bought what was then the Ritz-Carlton Club here in 2012, that he refused to refund their pricey membership fees. And not only that, they say in classic Trump fashion, he told them that he didn't want them as members anyway. The lawsuit pits some members of Trump's National Golf Club against the Republican nominee himself, and it's likely the plaintiff will call Trump as a witness.
It will be a media and political circus. There's no question.
That's attorney Greg Coleman weighing in. He's not part of the lawsuit, but was a former member of the club. He quit when Trump bought it in 2012. Shortly after, Trump sent members this letter saying they had three choices: give up their refundable membership fee clause, which in some cases was over $100,000, and enjoy a 10% discount on dues for 3 years. Keep the refundable membership option but have dues raised 20%, or if they had already sent a resignation letter like this one, just get out. Trump writing, as the owner of the club, I do not want them to utilize the club, nor do I want their dues.
The entire thing could have been handled differently, but that's not the way that he does business. It's his way or the highway when it comes to his businesses.
Previously, the members were able to get on the resignation list and wait until a new member paid up, then get their money back. Now their lawsuit claims they can't get their money back at all, and Trump has violated their agreement. Trump's letter says he is remaking Trump National into an ultra-luxurious, one of the world's best clubs. And if you're not in, you're out.
If you don't like the program that I'm putting in, I don't want you.
So the federal judge deciding that there are some general facts of law that are in dispute and should be decided by a jury, and that trial is set for August. Trump may have to be a witness in his own case, and if that's the case, this would happen just 2 to 3 critical months before the presidential election. Live in Jupiter, I'm Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.